The messages of support began with colored Post-it notes stuck to the University of Virginia admissions building. Now they've gone viral. The hashtag #IStandWithJackie took off on Twitter today. I stand with Jackie because 92% of rape allegations are true, one person posted. But thanks to Rolling Stone, all victims' accounts will be doubted.
The job of broadcast journalism was once to get the story right, first and foremost. But the changing media culture has created a sensationalist atmosphere where, with so many outlets seeking your attention and, in the end, advertising dollars, hyperbole and the checking of facts has long been the first and foremost thing to do. Have the hype, don't check the facts. And the current Rolling Stone revelations coverage over their campus rape story at the University of Virginia will further erode the trust factor and could set rape investigations and reporting of such crimes back decades. It's a pleasure to welcome back to MidPoint award-winning television journalist, best-selling author. One of her books, aptly titled Secrets Can Be Murder: What America's Most Sensational Crimes Tell Us About Ourselves. Currently host and content editor of Jane Unchained, Jane Velez-Mitchell. Jane, pleasure to have you on the show again.
Great to be here, Ed.
Jane, here we go now. Rolling Stone not only apologized once, but they've apologized twice. But I don't know about you. When I first saw this story, it just shook me, and I got angry, as a matter of fact, as somebody who has spent my life in this industry. How can you do a story and not check every single fact before you let it out? And certainly something as heinous a crime as this.
Ed, I'm furious because rape on campus is a huge problem in America, and this makes it that much tougher for the real victims to come forward and be believed because Rolling Stone decided not to check the other side. There is a very fundamental and very simple rule in journalism. You get the other side. You get both sides of the story. You get all sides of the story. It doesn't matter if they comment or not. You reach out. They chose, they say, out of respect for this young woman who made these accusations, not to contact the men that she accused. Big problem, because now other news agencies have found discrepancies. Had they contacted the other side, those discrepancies would have surfaced. They could have included them in the article and let the reader judge. So by not doing that, they actually have made things really bad for this woman. Because let's suppose, despite those discrepancies, she is telling the truth. Now, her story has been tainted.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we need to point out here. We don't know if her story is true yet. I mean, certainly that's what this story is based upon. This is not necessarily an attack at the woman, but it certainly is an attack on what Rolling Stone did because they didn't check the facts. People ran with this. This was on the front page and on the lead story on just about every network I can remember. Frankly, I'll tell you what, if Rolling Stone gets sued, it's going to be worth every single penny of that because what they've done not only to this woman, but to the industry itself. Well, wait, let me back up. The industry itself, let's be fair, this industry is filled with hyperbole, and this is just the sort of thing that some people want to put out there in order to get people to read them and look at their websites, isn't it?
Look, I've interviewed Liz Sakura numerous times. She is a woman whose story has eerie parallels to this accuser, Jackie, who was profiled in the Rolling Stone. This Jackie who said she was gang raped by 7 men. Well, Liz Sakura was gang raped way back in the 1980s, same university, also involving frat boys. She was also not believed. In her case, decades later, a man writes to her as part of a 12-step program to apologize. He ends up getting prosecuted. She finds out it wasn't just one guy. It was several guys because she was spiked. Her drink was spiked, whatever. The point is that it does happen. So it happened in the case of Liz Sakura. She's furious. She's speaking out now saying, hey, just because there were problems with the reporting of the story doesn't mean this woman is lying. So I think it's a ginormous mess. And here's the problem. I think Rolling Stone initially, even when they started backpedaling on the story, threw this young accuser under the bus saying our trust in her was misplaced. Then they had to say again, wait a second, no, it's our fault. Yes, Rolling Stone, it is your fault. Just because she said don't contact the accusers because I'm scared doesn't mean you have to listen to her. She's a young woman. You're the journalist. You know how this business operates. You were the ones who should have contacted the other side.
30 seconds left. Do you agree with the comments of Monica Johnson-Hostler, who's the president of the National Alliance to End Sexual Violence, when she said, I felt like we were almost at a tipping point in this work. For the first time, we thought people were listening, but we all might be going back to where we were before this.
This has done huge damage to this issue. There are women being victimized all over America on college campuses. There's victim blaming, there's binge drinking, there's date rape drugs. These are serious issues, and unfortunately, it's now a huge mess. We got to sort it out for the sake of these young co-eds and their parents.
A despicable thing by Rolling Stone to go ahead and put the story out here and not change everything and not also make sure that they check everything. Let's remind our audience that Jane's book is called Secrets Can Be Murder, What America's Most Sensational Crimes Tell Us About Ourselves. She is nice enough to come by here and talk about it because, quite frankly, if some media is not going to correct it, we'll go ahead and leave it to us, and we'll be happy to do it. Jane Velez-Mitchell, thanks so much for joining us. If we don't talk before then, have a great holiday.
You too.
All right, take care. MidPoint continues right after this.